Love and Light Tribe, what's going on? It's your girl, Crystal Dior, coming your way. Welcome to my channel. And we have another episode of Tea, Dreams, and Visions. You dig? So welcome, guys. If this is your first time coming through, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for returning. To all, I thank you for your time and your energy, because you could be anywhere, but you're here with me today. For that, give thanks. All right, so if you don't know, I'm a metaphysical shop owner where I sell handmade copper and crystal jewelry and spiritual tools. So make sure you check your girl out. Solo dolo, Black woman owned business. Your girl be making things from the muscle, you dig? All right, enough about that. Let's get into this dream. So this is called Cyborg Turn. So basically, it was something that happened outside. It was like a large, and it was a nuclear event. I think it was something that happened outside that poisoned outside, right? So people couldn't go outside anymore without getting sick or dying. Now, the government knew this, so they issued martial law. So they say, you can't go outside because the air is poison. We're trying to figure out how we can, fix it, if we can fix it. But with the air being poison, you're not going to be able to go outside. Now, if you go outside, you're doing it at your own risk, okay? If you're going outside at your own risk. You're basically saying like, hey, I'm okay. I'm going to go outside. So, and if you get sick or if you die, then the government isn't going to cover any of those expenses because you avoided and didn't listen to the orders that was in place, right? So your family wouldn't get compensated for that. Y'all have to figure it out. So that was one way of them trying to control the masses and push this cyberboard on people. So they introduced the cyberboard program. So it was two options. You could do the virtual reality option, or you could do the human-like robot option. Now, when it was first introduced, people did like a 50-50 split. Some people did virtual reality, some people did the cyberboard option. Now, in the virtual reality, you didn't have to have a robot or anything. You basically you didn't have to have a robot or anything. You basically had like a headset, and it would take you to different parts of the world, how the world used to be, and you can enjoy like going to the beach under the sun, going to Rome, Africa, all different type of places, so it was more like a virtual reality, real like, but you wasn't really there. And then the cyberboard option, you had a robot in the form of your image, and with this robot you was able to customize the robot how you wanted. You can have it as a boy robot or a girl robot. You can basically make every aspect of the robot yourself. And then with this robot option, the robot was able to go outside in the real world and basically do various of things. So the robot would act as you, right? But the catch-22 for the cyberboard option was you had to offer a piece of your DNA to the government for this robot. So it was either blood, hair, nails, or they did skin grafts. Now, that's the only way you can have this robot, is you either offer your DNA. I believe virtual reality, they gave you an option too, but it didn't have anything to do with your DNA. I think you had to offer whatever currency was at the time dealing with, whatever currency they was dealing with at the time. But anyway, so a lot of people offered their DNA without thinking twice, because they're like, oh cool, I'll have my own robot, and basically you'll be able to control the robot. You'd be outside with other people mingling with the robot, where virtual reality was more like a solo thing, unless you like connected with a family member and told them like, hey, meet me here or something like that, right? A family member or a friend. But other than that, like the robot option, you was able to like mingle. They had clubs outside, everything. So it was just basically like living in the outside world, but through a robot, right? So the robot agenda kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and more people was getting cyberboards. But what the people didn't know was, anytime you gave up a piece of your DNA, it was like you were selling your soul. So you basically gave up your DNA so this robot could be in an image of you, and however you designed it and however you chose it to be you, right? So because it kept getting bigger and bigger, what happened was the virtual reality option kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it started fritzing, and then they basically had like we will not be updating this anymore. So if you still have this headset, this is what you're going to have. Like they were trying to get rid of it, but people was fighting for it because not everybody wanted to have a cyberboard. So they couldn't get rid of it, but they just basically was like, it's going to be like, if you have it, it's grandfathered. No new people can get the virtual reality set, you know. It was similar to like a MySpace, Facebook. They were trying to like get rid of it all the way so that Facebook could take over, kind of like that. So, but people was fighting for it because they're like, I don't want a robot. So, like, they basically said, well, if you already have this option, you have it. But we is not introducing it to anybody new. We're not going to maintenance the part. So whatever happens with it happens. Because they ultimately are trying to push the cyberboard for, you know, them to have your DNA. So what happened was, you know, the cyberboard, you can control the cyberboard. It's like basically you're acting as this robot. So you go outside, you talk to people or other robots and things like that. But the robots start like getting smarter and smarter. And what happened was they were unable to be controlled by their human counterpart. So the robots start like disobeying the humans. Like if they say, all right, it's time to come home, they're like, no, I'm going to still be outside, I'm going to do what I got to do. But the robot would come into the human house, and then the robot will control the human. So what happened was initially the program had for you to control the robot, but what happened, the robot in turn started to control you, the human. So the robot started to enslave all their human counterparts, and this started happening all over the world. And it didn't matter what class you was in, whether you was rich, whether you was poor, whether you was an elite, whether you was not. If you had a cyberboard, the cyberboard ultimately turned on you and controlled you and whoever was in your household. And the cyberboard got to the point where they was like attacking you and kind of beating you like you were there, like they owned you. So the government didn't know what to do because this program kind of got out of control and out of hand, and that's where the dream ended. All right. So my interpretation of that dream is that very soon I believe that an incident is going to happen where outside is going to be compromised, and a lot of people will be getting sick from going outside and possibly dying, and they're going to be trying to push this agenda to make it seem like, oh, we're here to help. So when you hear of the first robot that can be in your image, that is when the cyberboard is going to start. And initially, like I said, it's going to be a program where the robots is going to be okay with being you and controlled by you, but eventually they're going to turn on you. So whenever this take place, whenever AI get to this point in our lives, be careful about purchasing a robot in your image, because I'm just getting that they're going to enslave humanity. All right, so that was the message that I got. You know, it felt like it was more of a future message, and I was watching a movie, like a vision. So that's what I wanted to relay. That's what it is, y'all. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you take care of yourself, protect yourself, and understand that your DNA is gold. Don't give it away freely, you dig? All right, peace, love, and light. Until next time. Peace.